I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. Today I'm going to review the CLETO REYES 16-ounce training gloves in hook and loop, or you could say the velcro versions. So let's talk about CLETO REYES for a little bit. This is made in Mexico, one of the most iconic brands, synonymous with boxing. I think since the 1990s, they've probably taken over as one of the main big brands. I think Winning and Reyes were the two most popular brands that people associate with professional boxing and professional boxers. So what makes Reyes such a great glove, and why are they so popular? If you know Reyes for their professional competition gloves, they're known as puncher's gloves. The fist is very compact. Everything's very solid. They hit hard. So because of that, many pro fighters love to use Reyes gloves because they cause the most damage to your opponents. But in the training world, people feel like Reyes gloves don't offer you enough protection because it's so focused on, damaging opponents. It's not focused on protecting you, right? So because of that, well, I want to say there's some truth to that stigma. It is true. These gloves right here, when you first get them, when it was brand new, the cushion was pretty dense, I'd have to say. It was very dense, and only after, a couple months or so, it started to break down. And it got softer, but even then, it got softer. It's nicer for the heavy bag. I don't think that it's soft enough for sparring. You're definitely not gonna make friends using these. So when I see Reyes in the gym, I typically feel like it's probably a pro or probably an amateur. And usually, they're using the Reyes gloves only to hit the heavy bag. For sparring, I think, especially out here in California, most people are using Winning for sparring, or Winning for everything, really, because it's an even more bigger name. So let's talk about the Reyes gloves. When I first started boxing, my old school Mexican trainer, he had a pair of Reyes gloves that it looked like it was 15 years old, and the leather was still holding up. Everything was still it looked very much together, and that's still true today. So in case you're worried that the quality has dropped, or maybe it has, but I don't notice it. The leather is really good. It's the higher level leather. The only leather I think that is better than Reyes is probably Winning, maybe Grant, and DiNardo. So definitely DiNardo and Winning, I think, is better leather. Between Reyes leather and Fly leather, I think Reyes leather is probably better. Feels good, looks good. I want to talk about the padding. The padding feels like it's foamish, okay? And it's more like spongy, not too spongy, but just, soft padding foam, something like that. Some Mexican gloves are super even more stiff or even more spongy. I don't think Reyes is like that. The craftsmanship is great. Let me show you the stitching. You can see the palm size stitching. For many Mexican boxing gloves, you'll see that it looks very handmade. The stitching's uneven, gets wider or narrower, or the gloves don't have a perfectly uniform shape between the left and the right. But here with the Reyes gloves, you can see it's very professionally manufactured. You can tell they use machines. They got their act together. All the gloves look perfect. They look machine made. Right? The lines are good. It's true. I do agree with the sentiment that many people say Reyes boxing gloves have the best craftsmanship of all the Mexican boxing gloves. Yeah, I think they look very uniform and solid. I love the wrist padding, wrist support. This area is really good. I don't like the knuckle padding, and the thumb also, I think, it's a little more curved than I would like. I can use it just fine, but I can feel that's not my preference. Keep in mind, I'm more picky than most of you. Most people associate Reyes as a straight thumb glove, I think. For me, Reyes is it's a little curve. It's a little curve, and when you hit sometimes, I feel like it's impacting my thumbnail like that. Maybe with hand wraps and everything and all that, it can change. It can feel different, but for me, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the thumb, but again, it's totally fine. You can use it. It's still a very solid glove. I'm gonna put these on for you. And also the Velcro is really high quality. I mean, everything's high quality. These are made to last. They will last you. I'm gonna use these on the bag just so we can get some feedback and just get how it's going. Ice, 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 ice. They feel solid. I wish that there was slightly more padding. Just slightly more. And that's how I've always felt about Reyes in general. I still wish that there was more padding. Some people like that feeling. They want, boxers, they call it feedback. They want to feel like they're hitting hard. It feels manly. I don't care for that. I care about my hands. I've been boxing for a while. I care more about my hands. Other things I want to say. I really like how they did the inside of their strap. You see this like extra canvas material. So some boxing glove manufacturers, the inside of the leather, they have like just one leather, right? The outside, and then the inside is just leather, like they don't protect it. Here, Reyes put like a strip of canvas or something to really back it, to really support it. I appreciate that. Overall, these are pretty solid gloves. These are not my gloves. These are my brother's gloves. He's been using them, and I think he likes them. But for me, the thumb is slightly less than comfortable. I wish it was more padding. But other than that, the quality, the wrist support, the way it feels, the way it looks, and I just like Reyes as a brand in general. But I would only use them. I would use them more for professional competition than for actual sparring. And bag work, it's okay. Not my favorite. I also forgot to show you guys the inside lining. It's not as smooth as like Winning or Fly or some of the most super premium brands, but it's also not rough like the usual Mexican brands. It's somewhere right in the middle. So there's that. So the inside lining is fine. It's just, it's average. It's nothing super special, but it's also not the rough ones that like will give you blisters. I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, check out my website, expertboxing.com. Thanks for watching.